Hello everyone and welcome back to the Honeybee Stamps YouTube channel. Today I'm so excited to bring you day 3 of our holiday cheer release, and I'm so excited to show you today's little collection. It's all about festive and fun florals. So as you can see here, I have a great little array of products, starting out with a brand new buzzword, home. There's also a 3-piece die set with that buzzword. There's some pretty poinsettias and a coordinating die set. There is the country Christmas wreath and stencil and coordinating stamps. So fun to create with that one. This is a new Lovely Layers pine cone die set. There is an A2 burlap cover plate. So fun for texture and detail. This is our brand new B Narrow alphabet die set. There are 2 A7 cover plates in a beautiful plaid. There's a Mistletoe slimline cover plate and some stencils with some holly and berries. I'm going to start out with that really cool buzzword. I love this because you can use it all year long. So you have the big scripty word home. There's no place like home. Welcome home. Congratulations on your new home. I'll be home for Christmas. Home sweet home. So lots of great little mix and match greetings. And then of course there is that 3-piece die set. It has 2 shadows and then that beautiful scripty word. So I'm just going to load my whole stamp set into my MISTI and stamp these out all at one time so I can give you a look at that beautiful buzzword and then all of those coordinating and mix and match sentiments. Once I have those all stamped out, I can give you a look at how beautifully those stamp. Some of the fonts are smaller so they'd be perfect tucked into the inside of your card. And then I am going to adhere together all 3 layers of that coordinating die set. So there is a big, large shadow that cuts out the pierced edge. That's there in that craft cardstock. And then the middle shadow is in red. And then the scripty word home is in black. I'm just using some of our Honeybee Stamps precision glue pen here and getting all my layers layered together, and you can see how beautiful that is and how that word just pops off of those shadowed backgrounds. Another thing that I love to do is take that largest shadow that has the pierced edge, and I like to stamp directly on top of that. That stamp fits perfectly, or I love to heat emboss with that as well. So lots of different options with the stamp and the coordinating die set. So here is a look at everything that goes with that home buzzword set. So fun, perfect for the holidays and perfect for all year long. Here's a great example from design team member Jenny, and she has used the die cuts and then I'll be home for the holidays. Now here is our beautiful, pretty poinsettia stamp set. This is a huge 6 by 8 inch stamp set. This is a collaboration with artist and design team member Emily Midget. Emily does the most beautiful florals, and this has some great poinsettias, some little pine sprigs, berries, leaves, even holly leaves and berries. There's even a really pretty bow. And then of course it has some great greetings in it as well. Now there's a coordinating die set that goes along with that pretty poinsettia stamp set, and it is going to cut out every image in that stamp set as well as all the greetings. So here is a look at all those beautiful florals stamped out, and they are ready to color. I have used those coordinating dies and cut out all of these images with my die machine, and I'm laying those out to give you a look at those beautiful images. I love that there is a die for all of our images, and then there's also a die for all of those great greetings like Merry and Bright, May Your Days Be, Peace on Earth, Happy Holidays, and Seasons Greetings. Here's some beautiful coloring from design team member Alba, and I love how she's paired those poinsettias and holly berries and pine cones with the barnwood plank background. Now next up in today's collection is our Lovely Layers pine cone die set. This makes the coolest dimensional pine cone. It also includes all the makings for a beautiful ribbon and some pine boughs and sprigs, as you can see there. Now, I've cut my pine cone out of 3 different shades of brown cardstock. I have those cut there. I have my pine sprigs cut, and then I have the ribbon in red, and I also have some really sparkly glitter. So I'm going to add just a little bit of interest and color to the edges of these little pieces of my pine cone. I'm just going to take a little finger dauber and some Distress Oxide inks and then kind of go around the edges with that. Now these are super easy to line up and adhere, and I will show you that right now. I'm going to use our precision glue pen because I love to use liquid adhesives with projects like this because it makes it really easy for you to be able to shimmy around those little pieces and get them all lined up. I'm just going to pinch down each piece and make sure that that glue has just a chance to kind of adhere together. And then I keep working my way up to the smallest pieces. And you can see how cool that is and what neat dimension I'm getting there with all the cool layers of that pine cone. Now, another neat thing you can do is once your glue is kind of set up a little bit, you just take your fingers and kind of pull up the edges of each of those little pieces of pine cone, and that gives that some really cool dimension. I'm moving on to the bow and the ribbon next, and I like to wrap the ribbon around a pen or a pencil and kind of give that a pull very carefully so I don't tear my paper, but it kind of rounds out the little ears or the little bows for the ribbon, makes it a little easier to fold and adhere down, and it gives it a more natural look. Now all of these little pieces already have the fold lines embossed into them, so the little middle of the bow, the little tails on the bow, everything's super easy to fold down and adhere. Again, I'm going to stick my little pin in there and give that just a little bit of a twist and round out the little ears to my bow and my ribbon, and then adhere the cute little tails. I love that this little bow has a scalloped edge, so it adds just a little bit of something there to that design. Now I'm going to take the pine sprigs and add just kind of randomly and messily some of our liquid glue, and this is where I'm going to add some fun, really sparkly glitter. So that's going to act as kind of a shimmery ice or a snow on my little pine boughs. You can see that there. And once I get all of my little pieces covered, I can start adhering this together. Now what's so fun about this lovely layers of pine cone is you can cut as many of those pine boughs, as many of the pine cones as you like, and arrange them however you need to on your projects. Now I have only cut and used just what is there in the die set, so I've cut all of those metal dies just one time, but you could imagine how full and how cool of a look that you would get if you cut multiples of all of these and arrange those nicely onto a card. So here is a look at my pine cone and my little pine sprigs there all adhered together, and you can see you could just arrange that any way that you'd like to. And again, that is only one piece for each of the dies in that set. So here is a gorgeous card from Bobby, and you can see how she's cut multiples of the pine cones, multiples of the little pine sprigs, and she's arranged that on our wood plank background with our burlap die, which is coming up right now. So this is our A2 burlap cover plate. So it's going to be approximately 4¼ by 5½. I'm going to pop this right onto some white cardstock so you can see how it fills out that A2 panel nicely. I love the texture and dimension and the wonky lines on this design. It's so fun for different farmhouse and floral designs. Here Mari has done a beautiful card. She's cut that in white, and then all of her red and green and gingerbread men really pop off of that white burlap. Now here's a really fun stencil set. This is a 2-piece stencil set. So this is our holly and berries. You can see here this is the holly leaves, and then this is the berries, and they layer right over the top of one another, so you can brush on color or glitter gel or anything like that and get a really fun holly and berry design for your cards and your backgrounds. I'm going to do this really super quick, and I love to use pixie spray for my stencils. I just love the way it kind of holds everything down so it's easy to get in those nooks and crannies. And I'm just going to take Mowed Lawn Distress Oxide ink for the holly leaves. Some of this is going to get dark in some spots, which I love, and then it's going to be lighter in others. So lots of fun variation in the color there. Once I get on my green for my leaves, I am going to take a dry cloth and kind of give it a wipe down. It kind of makes it easier to get everything cleaned up. And then you'll be able to see those leaves really pop out now once that stencil is kind of cleaned off. I'm going to peel that back, and then I can go ahead and lay right over the top of that. Again, I'm going to use my magic little pixie spray there to make sure everything stays down nicely. But I'm going to line up those berries, kind of get over the top there, kind of shift it around. Make sure they're all lined up with those holly leaves, and then this time I'm going to take some red glitter paste because I thought that would be perfect for Christmas time, perfect for those little holly berries, and I'm just going to kind of squish this down into those little berry holes. I kind of take a small spatula to get it all in the little berry spots, and then I take a larger scraper and kind of smooth it all out and make sure everything's all ready to go before I peel back the stencil. And then I love this magical part here where you get to see all the cool design and that really glimmery, shimmery red glitter paste. Now for this card, Brenda has paired the holly and berry stencil set along with our Be Merry Bee, who you'll meet tomorrow. But as you can see here, that provides the perfect little backdrop for that Be Merry Bee. It's super cute. Now next up in today's collection is the A7, so it's 5x7 inch plaid. This is a beautiful plaid that you can either use by themselves, as you can see how beautiful that is just right there by itself. They also layer together to give a really cool and different plaid effect. So I'm going to layer these up, and you can see all those little pieces of the red peeking through back behind there. I love this plaid design, especially for the holidays to go with our florals and our great sentiments. So this is a fun one. Now I'm going to get these adhered together with my precision tip glue pen here. And I'm just running a really fine bead of adhesive right down those little stripes. And then I'm going to get this all lined up and kind of smushed down, as you can see. Again, I love that design. I love the little boxes inside one another. Be great for a little gift with a bow. Now, you can trim this down to A2 size, as you can see I've done there on the right. I did that by using an A2 card panel on the back. I adhered my plaid design and then trimmed the whole thing down. You can see how nice and even everything stays. So great look. You can use this on both A7 and A2. So really cool cover plate die set. For this card, Alba has done a gorgeous traditional Christmas design. I love all the glitter, and she's paired that with the pretty poinsettias stamp and coordinating die set. Next up, we have a new slimline die. Now this is the Mistletoe slimline die. You can see I have cut it here out of some really pretty green and adhered it just to a white piece of cardstock. And then the little berry parts are open there, so you can add your gems, sequins, you can add your Nuvo drops, anything you'd like. I love here how Jenny has cut that in green. She's done some ink blending, and then she's used Nuvo drops and glitter there for the pretty little berries. Now next up is a really cool die set, and it has a coordinating stamp set. So it's a little something different. So the die set here is kind of the star of the show. This is the Country Christmas Wreath die and stamp set. You can see there is a wreath that is going to cut, There are all kinds of little gingerbread cookies, a heart cookie, and a star. There's a stocking, there's some florals, some little twigs, and even a great greeting. So I am going to get this all die cut out, and I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is to put this together and give you a few little tips and tricks. So I have die cut everything out and I saved that negative space, and I'm going to use that negative space to put my die cuts right back into the spot. Now I do have like a sticky sheet inside my Misty just so it makes it easier to hold everything down. So you can see here I'm starting with my craft cardstock, which are all the little cookies and a pine cone and a little sprig there, and I'm getting them all lined up and stuck down. Now the next thing I can do is take that coordinating stamp set that's going to have the detail images for your die cuts. So I have lined up all the stamps for my little cookies, and for white icing I'm going to use a little bit of like opaque white ink. I'm going to stamp those a couple of times, and then that gives my cookies the look of white icing. So I have my little craft colored cookies with white icing. And then I can move right along and do the little berries on that little twig, and then the little detail images, the little detail layers for my pine cone. Now before I get too hasty and take my die cuts out, I am going to dry that ink because it stays wet for a good while. And then now I can kind of take everything up, put those in my bowl, and then move on to the other designs in this die and stamp set. Again, I'm going to take all the things that I cut in red, use the negative, slip everything back in, and then stamp in whatever color that you would like. Here I'm adding the center of the flower in gold. You can see I did all the little details on the petals in white. And now that I have everything die cut, you can see my little colorful pile of die cuts that I have there in the top right corner. I have glued down that wreath. You can see how beautiful and all the pine sprigs and texture it gives there. Now I have only stamped and die cut the images from that die set and stamp set one time. So you can see how full of a look that you get just by doing that one time. You could cut as many pine sprigs and things as you want and kind of build that up however you'd like. Here it is with the added greeting, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. And then how cool and how full that cute little country wreath is. I love this. Now this is a beautiful country wreath from design team member Keiko. I love her color choices here with the blues and red. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then here is a really cool card from Lisa. She's used the coordinating stencil that goes along with that collection, and she's made a really cool country Christmas background. Next is our brand new alphabet die set, and this is called the B Narrow alphabet. You can see there on the little card that I have, Merry and Joy. I love this simple font and the narrow design. Now this is our B Bold alphabet set. You can see the difference. It's a little chunkier, a little thicker. So now with this new B Narrow set, we have a little something for everyone. There's a full alphabet, numbers, and all the special characters that you need. Now here Ilda has used the B Narrow alphabet die set. She's created this beautiful rainbow design there with Merry Christmas, and she has popped her little B Narrow letters onto our slimline mistletoe die. So that's a great, beautiful card there, and I just love her rainbow design. Thank you so much for joining me for day 3 of the holiday cheer release. Make sure you check out our blog for more information, and make sure you stop back by here tomorrow for day 4. I'll see you then. Bye bye.